Hi there. I wanted to create this video after talking to 6 or 7 wholesalers in the last 48 hours from around the country. It looks like with access and some of the applications out there, there's a lot more people looking to wholesale opportunities in states that they don't live in. And thus I wanted to create this video just to introduce myself and sort of highlight why I think if I lived out of state, why I would focus on Fresno and see if I can't break into that market, and then more importantly, work with a cash buyer such as myself who would take every deal that I found, because part of wholesaling is not only finding the motivated deal and getting it under contract, but you don't get paid until you have that assignment fee. So I wanted to go ahead and create this to introduce myself to those wholesalers outside of state and to see what's going on. So we're going to, again, sort of recognize and highlight what wholesaling is and sort of highlight why I think there's a lot of wholesalers that live in other states that are going to be prospecting in Fresno. We're going to talk about why I think Fresno is a great market for those wholesalers, and why if I had discretionary marketing dollars, you should probably spend it on properties or owners in Fresno. We're going to sort of highlight what I like and don't like about deals, and some of the things that if you do with me, you will never do business with again. Just sort of the do's and don'ts, if you will. And then finally, I'll just give you, since you don't know Fresno, I'll sort of give you a quick sort of cheat sheet on where I would focus, at least initially, while you're breaking into to make sure you're using your dollars and your time wisely. So wholesaling is a business done by thousands of people around the country. And I think it's only going to get more popular, right? I'm seeing more and more sort of posts and flipping shows and all these things talking about no money down and no access. And all that means is people are finding motivated sellers, getting something under contract, and then assigning it out to a cash buyer, such as myself. It's absolutely a business that's very profitable. I've known several and handed out tens of thousands of dollars to wholesalers for a deal or deals. So very popular. With all the online applications and access to owner information and phone numbers and addresses and all of those property details, I think it's only going to get more interesting going forward. I think the ability to secure the deal is probably the first thing we all focus on. However, you don't get paid for that. You don't get paid until you actually assign it out. And usually want to assign that out because the property is going to have challenges out to a cash buyer such as myself. And it's when that cash buyer closes that you actually get your assignment fee. So, you would be wise to get your buyers locked and loaded so that when you finally find one, you can get something closed quickly and get yourself paid and return on your time and your investment. And again, it's a job that I think is going to get more competitive. I think there's a lot of wholesalers starting to look at California, right? California is a unique place with property increases and different ages on property stock and different kind of things going on all at the same time. And I think it's, and again, it's one of the most populous, if not the most populous state. So, there's lots of properties here and lots of phone calls that could be made. So Fresno is interesting because it has lots of different price points. And I think it's those price points that offer opportunities for people to focus on and look for the right opportunities. The housing stock really does range. There's actually houses older than the 1920s, but when I think about the subdivisions in the areas that I've looked at, it really goes back to the 1920s, all the way up through new construction. There's one thing that's kind of makes this one, Fresno, unique. They've actually just implemented a process where landlords need to register, and if they don't register, they're going to get fined. And more importantly, this is all about making sure that Fresno rids itself of the pesky slumlords. And I fully expect that there's lots of slumlords or maybe even landlords out there that think they're doing okay, but they're really not. Their tenants are living in bad situations that are going to become forced sellers because they don't want to deal with the make-ready costs. So I'd be active looking for those, because it's going to get hot and heavy here pretty soon. I expect motivated sellers to get really aggressive sometime later this year and into next year, because those fines are going to start maybe at hundreds of dollars, but are going to escalate very quickly. And once they start doing inspections, it could get really costly. So I want to sort of talk about what I like before I go into what I don't like. So what I like is, I don't judge your profit, right? You find a deal to me, I don't try to, if it's a good deal and it's a good deal at 20K assignment, I'm not going to try to beat you down and get you to 10, right? Some cash buyers think that we have all the power, and they just want to give out $10,000 fees. I think wholesaling's hard. I think you deserve the profit you make. Now, keep in mind, if I can't make profit when I give you 20K, I'm going to tell you that, and we could decide to either part as friends, or if we can maybe do the deal at 10. So it may happen, but if it works for me, it works. It's a done deal. I prefer, my best investments are houses, multiple houses on one lot. I typically look for 2 houses at least on one lot, but I have seen opportunities of 5s and 7s and 9, little houses on one lot. So if you look for those and you find them, I'm going to be one of your best buyers, because those aren't assets that most people look at. Most people want the quick and clean house that they can fix up and flip to someone else. Also know that I'm traditionally a buy and hold guy, right? So I need to look at an asset and make sure I can buy and hold it as a long-term rental, right? I've been doing this for 15 years. I've been active all the time. So I'm not some, fly-by-night kind of guy. And also the new houses in the 220s that, have kitchen damage or whatever, that are just good for flipping and not great rentals. I don't want those. Take those somewhere else. If it's a great deal and no one else will buy it, yeah, maybe. But I'm just going to be honest with you. There's lots of people out there that want to flip that house in that kind of area, and you'll probably make more money going there, because to me that will just be another rental. So what I don't like, I don't ever want to be lied to. If you lie to me once and I catch you, it's a small industry. I'll find out. I actually had a wholesaler one time call me up, tell me he got a contract at 65K. And then he wanted a 10K assignment fee, so the deal was 75. It was an okay transaction, but it got around the area that he actually locked it up at 45, and we didn't do the deal together, right? I might have given him a $30,000 assignment fee. For some reason, he thought it was wise to tell me he got it for 65 and only wanted 10K, profit. I will never do business with that individual again, and that's not. It's not something I recommend. If you get a deal at 45 and it's worth 65 or 75, tell me, and we'll see if I agree and if we want to do the deal together. The other thing I don't like is what I call layered deals. Again, I had an opportunity to pick up a multifamily unit a month or so ago, where a wholesaler locked up a transaction. I'll just make up the numbers. Say they locked it up for 200. They gave it to one of their buyers who said, "Yeah, I'll take it." And then that individual didn't have the cash, but they thought there was enough room that they can sell it to someone else for 250. So that's what I call a layer, right? So the first guy got it at 200. He made 25 grand for a signature. Then this other guy also made 25K for a signature. And I won't do deals like that. I think that's just not okay. I want to reward the person that did the original deal. I want to deal with the original wholesaler and move on. And so I won't deal with that. And then I don't like properties over $500,000, even if there's a lot of room. That's just too much capital to tie up in one area. So if I lived out of state, I'd want to know where to hunt. I think there's 4 zip codes that I would focus on. Obviously, Fresno's roughly, Fresno County is about 1 million people now, so there's lots of other zip codes. But I'd focus on the older areas, so 701, 93701, 93702, and then 93727 and 93728. Those would be the ones I'd focus on, at least initially, just to get my feet wet, see what works for marketing and phone calls and things like that. I would also try to do a search on older multifamilies. Again, going back to the point that the county and city is asking landlords to register. I've seen lots of older multifamilies that need tens of $1,000s of work and haven't been updated in a decade. So I think those individuals are going to be very quickly tagged as slumlords and hit with big fines. So they're going to be very, very motivated very soon. I would tell you to be cautious about 93706, sometimes called the West Side. It's just an area that buyers typically avoid because of, for whatever reason, right? They don't like that area. It can be okay. I actually own a bunch of stuff there, so I'm all good. But I just want you to know that that might be a zip code to avoid, or if not avoid, make sure you get an extra discount just to ensure that Again, you don't get paid until someone else picks up your contract and gives you an assignment fee. So just wanted to give you a little word of caution. In the end, if you're a wholesaler and you're watching this and you're going to start hunting in Fresno, don't, feel free to give me a call or hit me up with my email, and I'll give you all the information I can, because I believe wholesaling is admirable and an extremely hard job, and I hope to work with all of you and get more and more deals going. So in the end, I hope you have a great day and take care.